So this news has been going around for the last few days, and I think it is a bit of a shock, to be honest, because not a lot of people really expected this player to kind of make this type of move this early in his career. Well, not this early, but they didn't expect this to happen for another few years. So it is being reported that Neymar is going to sign with Saudi Arabian club Al-Hilal. So the deal is reported to be worth £86 million. I haven't seen that there's been any add-ons or that there are any add-ons in this deal. However, this transfer is subject to a successful medical, so Neymar is going to have a medical with the team, and if the medical is successful, then he will be an Al-Hilal player, and he will be just another superstar player that has gone to Saudi Arabia. So it is also reported that Neymar is set to make a grand total of $175 million. That's £138.7 million over 2 years. So obviously he's going to sign with them for 2 years. And then really when he's 33, he will be out of contract with the club. And then obviously he might re-sign, or he might try and come back to Europe. Who knows? I doubt he'll try and come back to Europe. He'll probably just re-sign either with Al-Hilal, or he'll just go to another Saudi Arabian club. However, over the past few seasons, PSG have actually been trying to sell Neymar, but I think the big problem here is that PSG haven't really been able to get the transfer fee they wanted for Neymar, because they paid over €200 million for him. Not a lot of clubs are really going to be willing to pay that much for Neymar, considering that he was in his late 20s going on to his 30s. He was getting quite injury prone, and he also really wasn't performing as well, and he wasn't playing as much. So I think that would have been quite a big issue. Also, when you fall out with one of your superstar players, everyone knows that if you're trying to get rid of them, then everyone's going to want him cheaper than what you'd want to sell him for. So it isn't really a shock that PSG and Neymar haven't really got on since then, with Neymar missing some big games for some really, really stupid reasons. He really seems to have gone half-arsed in the last few years, and it doesn't really seem like he's been fully committed to PSG, which has kind of annoyed a few players. So there were rumours months ago also that Neymar would be leaving this summer, along with Lionel Messi as well. There have also been clashes in the dressing room after big losses, so Neymar falling out with players, probably due to his lacklustre performances in big games, because when you're a world record signing, when a team pays 200 million for you, you're meant to play big in those big games, which Neymar wasn't. He was really, really going at it half-assed, which a lot of the players in that dressing room really wouldn't have been happy with. And also he was falling out with Mbappe as well, which isn't a big surprise, because Mbappe is one of those young, hungry players that just wants to win. So you can respect that a lot, and it doesn't really surprise me that Neymar fell out with Mbappe. For me, that was just inevitable, to be honest. It's also reported that Sergio Ramos, one of the senior players at PSG, had to separate Neymar and Mbappe. So obviously that must have got really, really bad. And then it's like, at that point, you've got to make a decision between who you're going to sell between Neymar and Mbappe. Mbappe being in his early to mid-20s, absolutely on fire, one of the best players in the world. And then there's Neymar, who really plays really half-arsed, really just doesn't turn up to training all the time, misses big games, and he's nearly 30. He's had quite a few injuries. He only plays like 25-30 games a season max. So obviously you're going to sell Neymar in that situation. Plus the fact that Mbappe is confronting Neymar at that point as well, I think shows some kind of leadership qualities in the fact that he's not going to let players slack off. So having said all of that, Neymar has actually done quite a lot for PSG. He signed for PSG in 2017 and he's now leaving in 2023. So that's 6 seasons at the club. And in this time, Neymar played 173 games for the club. So really in 6 seasons, considering the level that he can play at, because obviously he's never really played at that level consistently, 173 games in 6 seasons, that's an average of just under 30 games a season, which, that's not even a full league campaign. never mind the cups, the Champions League and the Super Cup, So quite disappointing. So 173 games, he scored 118 goals and 77 assists. So if you played 10 more games a season, that would be, another 60 games. Imagine how many more goals and assists he could have got on top of that as well. Probably another 30 goals, maybe another 15, 20 assists, Could have been much, much better. So in this time, he won 5 Ligue 1 titles, 3 French Cup titles, 2 French League Cup titles and 4 French Super Cup titles. Along with this, they did make the Champions League final in the 2019-2020 season, but that's the best finish they had. Apart from that, they were very lacklustre in the Champions League, PSG were. Also, his honours, he was the Ligue 1 Player of the Year once, and he got 3 Ligue 1 Team of the Season appearances. So looking at that, for a lot of players, these stats really for PSG would be absolutely incredible. But you've got to look at it like this: he is the most expensive player of all time. Biggest transfer fee ever paid for a player goes to Neymar. So really, even though these numbers are great numbers, they're quite disappointing considering the hype that he came to PSG with. He was meant to be like the heir to Lionel Messi at Barcelona, and I think really now, that has clearly gone to Mbappe and Haaland. So really, I would say it was disappointing. Neymar was disappointing at PSG, and with his departure, I think that just kind of shows his career. He's never really lived up to the hype. Also with Neymar, his departure was inevitable because of all the disruptions he caused with missing big games, missing big parts of the season, and also with the injuries. He's in his 30s, so the injuries aren't going to just all of a sudden stop coming. When you get into your 30s and you're injury prone, you just get injured more. So it was really, really inevitable that he was going to move on from PSG, because PSG want to move forward, and they can't really do that with Neymar. And I think he was getting paid 25 million a year, so they can't really do that with Neymar on the team. It's sad to see him to go to Saudi Arabia, in my opinion, as well, because it would have been nice to see him try and revitalise his career at another European club, because then it's like, even though it wouldn't have been at PSG, it would have been nice to see him at least try and make some impact at another club. There were reports that he may have signed for Barcelona as well, so I think that would have been nice, or just another European club in general, to see if he could not necessarily get back to the level he was, because I don't think that's really possible considering the amount of injuries he's had, and he's 31 now, but it would have been nice to see what level he could have got back to if he did dedicate himself. So overall, I think Neymar really is a bit of a wasted talent. Even though he was a great player for several years, it just comes down to the fact that he didn't really get anywhere. I don't think he got really that close to his potential, because he was touted to be one of the best players in the world. His talent meant he could have been the best player in the world, but it just never happened. So this move to Saudi Arabia, I just think shows so much about Neymar, from him being a wasted talent, him not living up to his potential, and just the fact that really I think he was more in it for the money than anything else. He never really had that dedication to go out there and be the best. So those are my thoughts on the Neymar transfer to Saudi Arabia, if it goes through. Obviously, if he doesn't pass the medical, it won't go through, and then that'll just be another pain in the arse of PSG. So let me know what you think about this transfer down in the comments. He is only 31, so do you think it's a shame to see him go to Saudi Arabia? Because being 31, he still has the potential to have a few very good seasons left in him, or do you think it's just a good thing to see him go because of really how undedicated he is, and how much he just kind of pisses about with playing and not playing the big games but not playing the big games? So leave all that down in the comments. If you agree with me or you like the video, leave a like, and hopefully I will see you in the next video, and thank you for listening.